How did I become me? Damn. November 23rd, 1998, I was born. Came into this life in Ahuachapan, El Salvador at 10:43 p.m. From there until the age of 4, I had no conscience. I hadn't lived anything yet. Once I hit 4 years old, I started getting hit. It wasn't like the normal hit. For me, it was already, like broken hangers. So those would sometimes leave cuts, bruises, and blood all over me. Um, anyways, um, I started realizing more because of those hits. Nobody really wanted to get close to me. Like when it came to kids, like me having friends, they didn't want to get close to me because of those things. I had, like I said, blood, bruises, and cuts all over me. Um, my dad and my mom happened to have anger problems. Um, Still do. I'm not sure where my dad is. He left me at 4. Um, but at 4 years old, right, that's when a lot of shit happened for me because at the same time, I had a friend, right? I had one friend, this one girlfriend that she was super nice. She didn't see like what the other kids saw in me. Like I think the other kids was seeing a monster, cause yeah. So she didn't see that. So when I had my first friend, I was like, fuck yeah, you're like it was like that hell yes moment. Like I was happy. It didn't last long before I lost her to cancer. When that happened, it broke me. As a kid, it broke me. And I got depressed. I got very sick. I wasn't eating. And then something like the flu came over to El Salvador and hit us. So it hit me. So I was feeling great. It was multiple shifts that were fucking me up. I was feeling amazing to the point I went to a deathbed. From there, I had my family coming to visit me one day. They seen the way I looked. I'm not sure what did they talk with the doctor about. But ever since that day, I never saw them again. They left me. Except my mom, she stood there. But she was the abusive one, though. But, anyways, from the age of 4 to 7, I was still living with my mother. Getting abused like a motherfucker, though. But I just didn't have any friends. I think I'm lying. I'm lying. I made one guy friend, but that's because his mom was abusive too. Um, but like it's like we were both realizing that at that age that we were being abused and it wasn't supposed to be like that. Um, and I guess that was the only friend. Yeah, that was Beto. That was his name. So that was my first male friend. Um, but like I had to leave from there because mom decided to come here to the USA. So she left me over there in El Salvador, in Santa Ana, in El Jocote. Um, I lived there for 3 years. I was working, well, semi working to earn my own food. I was carrying my own weight in wood, beans, maicillo, my cafe, frijoles, all of that shit. I was carrying my weight on that, and I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. Um, and I wasn't seeing none of that shit like a bad thing. Like in a Huachapan, in a Huachapan and Sonsonate, close or in that area, the MS-13 and 18 usually had their beautiful full wars happening, which those beautiful wars happened to take a lot of those families that left me. Um, and ever since sort of something like that happened, I started understanding that like people who did me wrong were I, I, I couldn't do anything myself. I had to let Saint Judas and God and death handle that situation. It can't be me because my punishments aren't as great as theirs. But, anyways, um, so after that, right, I came um, to El Salvador. I mean, to the U.S. because mom brought me here. I came with El Coyote from Guatemala all the way to to the U.S. It was like 73 people in the group. It was just me, like me. It wasn't like me and my mom or anything like that. It was just me, and that whole 73 or four people group. Um, so we went through the trip. We passed through the Mexico desert, and then we were having issues with like some food because we were running out of food. And one of the guys happened to eat a lot of the food that we had left. So what the coyote did is he just left them right there in a spot where there was a lot of wolves. And yeah, then on that same desert, we just kept on walking. Happened to come like to this like really deserted area. There was like maybe like three trees around the area, like mile square type of shit. There was nothing there, just dust, like sand, nothing, just those three trees, and that was it. Example, and on one of those trees, um, it was probably like 6 o'clock. You can see them on the ground. You can see that the sand had turned to a different color because there was blood hanging there. Um, there was um, there were some like intestines hanging from the tree, so like blood was dripping into the ground, and all that shit. So I saw that. I happened to see my first group of wolves. I happened to see my first snakes, um, things like that. I happened to see all of that. I didn't see my life like a bad thing. I didn't know that there was better. So I myself never really knew my worth. So that part of never knowing my worth is gonna come later in the story. But um, so bam, I got to this country right in El Paso, Texas. They caught us. Um, they caught us. The immigration people caught us, and yeah. So they were thinking whether they were going to send me here or not. So I ended up getting, sent here. So I stood here. And then a year later, my sister was born, my first sister. Um, and then I took care of her for like a year and a half more. So when she was about almost 2.5, my other sister was born. Um, I, I, I took care of my first sis, and I was going to school at 11 years old, 12 years old. I, at the age of 13, I, by that time, I was only sleeping like 3 or 4 hours a day and taking care of my sisters and going to school. There was one time where I felt like it was safe for me to go to sleep a little bit longer. And I lost one in her sleep. When that happened, it broke me to so many levels. Because not only did I lose my sister, I seen my mother cry her lungs out with so much pain in her eyes that hurt me. Her asking me with yelling and just crying and just tears in her face, what happened to my daughter? I, I don't I don't know. I fell asleep. I shouldn't have fell asleep. And that's what I will always tell myself, and people always tell me, but did you do it? No. So why are you blaming yourself? Because she was under my watch, and maybe she struggled, and I could have done something. I I I could have done something, but I was asleep. So that happened. What the police seen was a kid that was close to a baby, and the baby died with the kid's watch. So what the cops said, this kid did it. So we're putting it on this kid. So I went to jail for first-degree murder and other cases. I was in adult jail for about a month, 2 months. Then I got taken to juvenile. I was there for a year. But the reason I got taken to juvenile is because I was mad at my mom. I was mad at the world itself because in those 6 months, I was innocent, and everything that I was hearing around me was people saying murder, 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 kid murder, kids murder, kids murder, murder, rot in hell. That shit got stuck in my head. And I had to have that shit in my head until this point. So at 14 years old, I moved to the juvenile. And in the juvenile, I was there for a year. After that 1 year, I went to a foster care. Because they found out, because of me and my sister, that my mother was abusing us. But I had one of those mothers that she's good at pretending, like she will be like, she'll whoop the fuck out of you, like when it's just you and her alone. But when it's like you and other people, it's like she turns into the nicest person into the world. So like a lot of the times, those people believed her. But I had like, in that time of the whole shit going on, I had this lawyer, and she was with me like the whole time. She knew I hadn't done this shit. Like, there was no way I could do this shit. And she was there with me like the whole time. She was cheering me on. Like, there was a lot of times I wanted to give up and just finish it, and she was there to help me out. So, anyways, moved out of the by the age of 21. Throughout that time there of being there, I had to do therapy, counseling, and all that bullshit to see what else had happened to my head. I came out with PTSD and so many other bullshits in my head now. But I started smoking at the age of 15, 14, 15. Um, I happened to do it somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. Um, so that kind of helped out to lose some stress, because I was like mentally fucked up already. Um, by the age of 21, like I said, I had moved out from those things, and then I started being on my own. So I lived with my mom for like 1 more year, and then after that, I moved out and started living my life. So at 22, I happened to meet somebody, and that somebody, you know, um, mentally, from all that shit that had happened to me, I was done with life. I really was done with life. And then I met her. She changed my life. She did a whole lot of good things for me. Plenty of good things for me. And I wish I could have had her still. But the problem was that she couldn't take responsibility. She didn't know what accountability was. Every time she created an argument, I would say something, and then she would blame me, so I will have to apologize. And that shit happened plenty of times. Or me smoking, that was a big issue for her. For like a year and a half, she fucked up a lot of dates because of that. So little by little, my heart flame went dying. The last little bit of flame that I had went dying. And at some point, 2 years later in the relationship, I wanted to leave. And I was about to. Unfortunately, she got into an accident when she almost lost her life. So even her kid, like one of her kids wanted to leave her. I was just standing there. I was there. I was there. To keep on getting told that it's me, the one that's creating the issues. Nah, at some point, I actually stopped talking. I stopped talking. Literally, completely stopped talking. Like, as soon as I seen like an argument coming out, you win. It's true. You're right. You're right. You're fucking all the bitches. You're right. You're right. You're right. You going to like another country to fuck another bitch and then fucking her mom. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, you don't argue with me anymore. Like I feel like I feel like I feel like you don't care about me no more. Like is it other bitches? It's like you're funny. Like you're looking for other bitches. Okay, you're right. She had seen when she lost me. Before the accident, my plan was to take myself out. But I stood there because she needed me. Because I still have another sister that needed me. So, with this woman, what I went through is multiple situations. Her daughter deleting pictures, emails, messages, everything that it was between me and her mom. And then her blaming me, cussing me out as if I had done it, to later find out that it was her daughter who did it. But did I ever hear an apology? No. Or when her niece started saying that she was feeling some type of way about me, that like I was gonna go into her room, blah 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 blah. Just her niece and this other fucking Asian girl, yo, they both had something about me. They liked me. Like even my ex girl, she knew that. She knew that they both liked me. So it's like they were over there creating issues for me because I didn't want them. So it's like that's some shit, man. And then both of them, when there was the actual time to confront each other, it was multiple people against one though. So from there, that taught me that my energy is a threat to a lot of people because I don't mess with nobody. I really don't mess with nobody. I can't. I literally had just came out of fucking jail. So why the fuck would I do something to get my ass back there when I didn't do shit the first time? Why? Tell me where the fuck does that make sense that I'm gonna do something fucking stupid that's gonna take me there again? Fuck no. Fuck you. Both of them. Both of them. Her niece and that Asian bitch did that shit. And you know what's crazy about both of them bitches? Is that both of them were cheating on their man. Both of them had two men on the side, so it was three motherfuckers for each one of them. Did I ever said that shit to their man? Fuck no. You know what? Nah, fam. You want to protect this dumb bitch? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sure you're over there sucking somebody else's dick, though. I eventually gave up on love and life. But in the meantime, I said, hey, let me try to build my own store and let me work on this shit. I tried it. It didn't work out. I gave him out. It didn't work out. So at this point, my only thing to do is start giving my things away since I mentally know that I am running out of time. If I am making this video, it's because maybe I was overreacting, you know. Maybe my life wasn't that bad. Because a lot of people would just look at me like, yeah, he lying. But nah, fam. Go back in history. Try to find a way to go back in time. And you can see my life. You can see that in El Salvador, my life was like poop. And to me, it wasn't poop. To me, it was like it was good. Like I was having fun. Yeah, it was a bad childhood, but I was having fun. Sometimes. I lost a lot to the point where I had to learn how to lose. And I lost myself. How am I gonna find myself, Daria? That is a very good question. I don't think I can anymore, especially when I'm running out of time.